So Elon Musk is set to destroy the International Space Station, and he will get richer doing it. But before we get into the video, if you're new to the channel, please support the channel by subscribing and turning your notifications on. One more thing, smash that like button. Yeah, let's get into it. Today, the International Space Station is officially the largest human-made object in low Earth orbit, standing at 356 feet long and weighing 450 tons. Construction of this station began in 1984 and it ended in 1993. Also constructing this was as a result of a joint effort between the United States, Russia, Japan, Europe, and Canada. During the time of construction, there were about 30 assembly missions. After the construction was complete, the station received its first crew in November 2000, and fast forward to today, it has received over 270 crews. The International Space Station orbits the Earth at an average altitude of 250 miles, 402 kilometers, making it visible from the ground with the naked eye at dusk or dawn. It has a habitable volume of 13,696 cubic feet and features 7 sleeping quarters, 2 bathrooms, a gym, and a 360-degree observation window called the cupola. But sadly, after 3 decades of operation, the station is scheduled to be destroyed. You see, it wasn't in the plans of the creators of the station to keep it forever. They already planned to destroy it in 2030, but that aside, the station has begun to show signs of aging, including hull leaks and software glitches. In February 2011, NASA selected the Center for the Advancement of Science in Space, CASIS, to manage the ISS National Laboratory, opening it up for new opportunities for commercial and academic use of the facility. However, the majority of research on the station has been government-driven. To finally put the International Space Station to rest, Elon Musk's SpaceX has been awarded a $843 million contract by NASA to develop and build the U.S. deorbit vehicle that will guide the station to a controlled destruction in the Pacific Ocean at Point Nemo. This process is definitely not going to be an easy one, as the space station is over 400,000 kilos in mass, much larger than previous objects deorbited. But if anyone can perform this task well, it is Elon Musk. The deorbiting process will involve substantial thrust to safely guide the ISS through the atmosphere, while also avoiding the risk of debris damage to populated areas. NASA will take ownership of the SpaceX-developed vehicle after its construction and operate it for the final deorbit. Now let's talk about SpaceX. We already know that this company got a $843 million contract to develop and deliver a space vehicle that will guide the International Space Station to the Pacific, where it will be destroyed. The developed vehicle will be attached to the station and use its engines to safely steer the station through the Earth's atmosphere. Any part of the station that does not completely burn up during re-entry will splash down in the remote Pacific Ocean at a location known as Point Nemo, which is the furthest point from any land. Although SpaceX will be developing the deorbit vehicle, NASA will take ownership of the vehicle after its completion and operate it throughout the final mission. This means that the process of actually destroying the station will be in NASA's hands, and SpaceX will only focus on creating this vehicle. This perfectly aligns with NASA's plans to ensure a safe and responsible transition in low Earth orbit at the end of station operations. We see that the romance between SpaceX and NASA is not ending anytime soon. Both organizations have worked well in the past, and right now, we see NASA trusting Elon Musk as partners that'll join them to facilitate the next chapter of space exploration and research. Considering the massive size of the station, deorbiting it will be a very difficult task. Safely guiding such a massive structure through the Earth's atmosphere requires extremely careful planning and execution. SpaceX will need to either significantly modify an existing spacecraft or design a new one. The vehicle has to be strong enough to be able to maintain control of the space stations during the fiery re-entry, as the station will not be able to stabilize itself at lower altitudes. Another key consideration is avoiding the risk of debris damage to areas occupied by people. The debris footprint during re-entry is expected to stretch several kilometers wide and up to 3,700 miles long. NASA will need to carefully target the re-entry to ensure that any surviving debris falls into the remote southern Pacific Ocean, an area known as Point Nemo, which is far from human habitation. Access to this portion of the Pacific will need to be restricted during the deorbit to prevent potential casualties from falling debris. Also, Elon Musk's deorbit vehicle must be able to successfully pull off a controlled re-entry even in the event of two component failures, ensuring a safe and reliable process. The deorbit of the space station will be a spectacular event, with the station's solar panels likely being torn off first, followed by the modules being ripped apart and set on fire by the intense heat of re-entry. Several sonic booms will be heard as the wreckage streaks across the sky, and everything is expected to be visible from the ground. I guess we should be expecting a free fireworks show. But you see, despite the complexities and possible ways this operation can go wrong, NASA has 100% faith in Elon Musk, and they are confident in their plan to deorbit the station in a safe and responsible manner. The agency even considered alternative options like using Northrop Grumman's Cygnus spacecraft to assist with the deorbit process. But this plan will waste time, and they know that extending the station's lifetime beyond 2030 is a risky move due to the aging of its systems and the potential for debris impacts, so they will go with their initial plan. As the International Space Station slowly approaches the end of its active life, attention is shifting towards the future of low Earth orbit, LEO. NASA and its international partners are working towards a vibrant and sustainable low Earth orbit economy, with commercial space stations poised to fill the void left by the International Space Station. Commercial space stations will be the new trend. Companies like Blue Origin, Vast, and Axiom Space are tirelessly working on the development of commercial space stations, giving us platforms for tourism, research, and continued human presence in low Earth orbit. These new commercial stations will provide a range of services, from scientific research to commercial activities, and will be designed to be more efficient and cost-effective than the International Space Station. NASA, on the other hand, is wholeheartedly showing support to the development of commercial space stations. Take a look at their relationship with companies like SpaceX and Northrop Grumman. These guys are laying a foundation for the future of LEO, as they brought up the Artemis program to help. The program aims to take resources from the International Space Station and invest in plans such as returning astronauts to the Moon and ultimately sending humans to Mars, something we know Elon Musk is obsessed with. The Artemis program will also include the development of a lunar gateway, a space station near the Moon that will serve as a crucial hub for missions to the Moon and space generally. Remember that the International Space Station was created by a corporation of NASA from the US, Russia, Japan, and Europe. Fortunately, these countries want the same thing, to develop commercial space stations and to ensure a smooth transition from the International Space Station to these new commercial space platforms. But there is a major problem facing this transition, and it is none other than funding. Then there's another minor problem, the need for a clear and consistent regulatory framework for commercial space activities in LEO. But either way, we are excited for what is to come. With commercial space stations ready to take over from the International Space State, the future of low Earth orbit looks pretty promising and exciting. And that's where we stop today. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.